All right, everybody, we're off and running. We are in the thick of season, entering conference play this week. And you know what that means. We have another great episode of The Lab with two great guests, Jaylen Harrell and Braiden McGregor. This is The Lab presented by Champion Circle. Make sure you head over to championcircleufm.com to show some love to your student athletes. Now, guys, I'm happy to have both of you guys here because I feel it's great with you guys being seniors and veterans on the team to give us perspective of the locker room right now. If you could just talk about where you guys' heads are at now being 3-0, but also having Coach Harbaugh back on the sidelines this weekend.
Heading into conference play, having Coach Harbaugh back, it just feels like everything is lining up for us. When you get into Big Ten play, you just start getting a little bit more excited, a little bit more juice. Coach Harbaugh told us today that, when you get in conference plays, this counts as two. He's like, you win and they lose. So, we're all excited. Everybody's excited for this week.
Yeah, kind of going off what B said, it's a lot more juice and vibrancy in the building. Especially we got our coach with us on Saturday. So, yeah, I'm excited to get back out there and start Big Ten play.
Have you guys dove into the tape yet? Because I was watching some Rutgers tape this week, and they got a great back, man. It's a great test for you guys. I mean, Monungai, the running back for the Michigan fans, Kyle Monungai, he leads the Big Ten in rushing right now. He's coming off a Doak Walker, which is the best running back in the country. He was recognized this past week. And then also Wimsett, their quarterback, does some serious damage with his legs, which affects you guys in read option, right? They're going to leave you guys bookended on the end of the line of scrimmage to make to have to make a decision. How does that change your approach this week, knowing you're going up against a dual threat quarterback and a great running back?
Right. The running back, he's a great back downhill, great vision. He's a heck of a player. And, the quarterback, with his ability to accept plays with his legs, he's got to be smart. Especially rushing the quarterback, we got to rush this one cohesive unit because if not, he can make us pay going up the A and B gaps or out the back of the pocket.
I wanted to ask you something because I was just thinking about the game last week, and Chris Jenkins had the pick and then almost had the 6. Did you guys get on him? I mean, they call him the mutant. Did you guys get on him for not finishing that one?
Yeah, I did. I turned around and I thought he scored originally because I heard so much yelling and stuff. Then we got to the sideline. He said, "Bro, I was too fat. I didn't get in." So I was disappointed. I thought he had that one.
So, but I also heard some intel on him that he said he was too fat, but he really wasn't always a fat kid, right? He was 240 when he came on campus.
Oh yeah. Chris was little when he came in with me and B. He's got 310, 305 now. Like, yeah, he's a freak.
Yeah, so you guys are both, seniors. You've been in the program for a while. As you just think about this, just the special time in your careers, you could take us back to when you initially committed to Michigan in that first, summer lifting and in the freshman conditioning. What was that like? Did you have any idea that you would be sitting in the seat that you guys are now with the chance? Talking about national championship conversations in the program.
Honestly, when I committed, I remember I texted Jay. Said some corny stuff probably, but no, looking back now, it's like you didn't think that we'd be back-to-back Big Ten champions, but like you hoped, you heard all the stuff that, we're going to have a great recruiting class. You guys are all going to mesh well. This is going to be our year. We're going to turn it around. And, you get excited. And then when you get here and you kind of feel like, you're the freshman, you got to work your way up. It's exciting, but no, looking back, it's just so exciting to see that, we've came so far and what we've done so far.
Yeah, our freshman year, that was a 2-4 year, so we got off to it was a rocky, bad start, So just seeing like the growth and the change in the program, like how we keep building each and every year. It's a certain standard now we got to hold, so we just got to keep going.
I want to stick with this conversation, but Jay, do you remember what Braiden had texted you at that point in time?
It was like like it was something. I remember it was something like, "What's good, Jay? You're a heck of a player, bro. We need you to commit in this class, bro. This is a class that's going to change it all." It was something like that. We need you. We need you. Nah, it didn't work. It didn't work. I felt the love.
And then you committed.
I
Exactly.
felt the love.
Exactly.
I felt the love. But nah, it was corny, bro. Nah, it's all good.
So you talk about your freshman year. It's the 2-4 year. I think all Michigan fans remember that, the COVID year, right? I mean, I remember the Michigan State game in the big house, how that, just the energy around the program of that game. And then, you projected forward to the following year, 2021, and it was like, I think you guys had like a 0.2% chance or whatever those computer metrics are of, winning at the Big Ten championship. And what do you go do? And it's a long-winded question because I think about the role that Aiden Hutchinson had in the program, playing the exact same position you guys had, David Ojabo. When you think back at those two dudes, you guys still young in your careers, what did they mean to the team and to the transformation of Michigan? And then what did it mean for you guys as individuals? And I'd like for both of you to answer this in terms of progressing your own careers.
Aiden was more of like a vocal. He's a tone setter, like what the phrase coach likes to use. Just the way he played, the way he led, like everything's like his daily habits, like really like it's no surprise, like he's doing what he's doing now. And, Jabo, man, Jabo's always had it. But Jabo, he just go out there and do him. He doesn't talk too much, but just like the plays he made, like he just like lifted up the whole team. Like he really was a difference maker, both of them guys.
I think for me, when I like committed here, everyone was comparing me to Aiden and all that. Honestly, I think him and I both hated it when I first got here. But he took me under his wing. He would coach me up at practice after getting coached up by my own coaches. And just things like that is he's like Jay said, he was just vocal. I mean, he was all around. He would be in the locker room letting you know. And I think that helped both of us, honestly. Just little things that like we don't even think about just before like we even instilled it in the whole defense is just running to the ball, be maniacs out there.
Right. And
you turn on the film, that's what he was every single play. And I think that's what we try to make this defense is just everybody be maniacs, just run to the ball. And like Jay said, Ja, like he didn't talk that much, but like when you did, people listened. Like tone setter, like you go out there and he's out there, everybody puts their eyes on him because he's going to make a play. So I think both of them definitely helped both of us in our career.
Dude, I still watch. I mean, I think we were all watching the Lions versus the Chiefs to open up the season. And you're looking at Hutch like, dude, he's the number 2 overall pick. Like that dude is the golden child. But his motor, like that, he's running down sideline to sideline, playing every single play. Like, I mean, what does it do for the defense when you have a leader like that? And then you guys being upperclassmen, like veterans now, you do the same thing, right? On Saturdays, like there's no quit, right?
Right. Yeah, me and B was talking about that game actually. Aiden, he was flying around the field. He's been doing that though since he's been here. Practice, doesn't matter what was going on, he's been doing that. Like when you show that to the young guys, it really just like shows them the standard, like what's expected on this defense. So we just gotta show that each and every play, doesn't matter what we're doing, practice games, gotta always uphold that standard for the young guys.
Even Big Chris likes to make fun of himself. He said he was too fat to score, but even he runs down on the sidelines, right? Even the big fellas on the interior, they're running sideline to sideline.
Yeah, I mean, that's just our big focus for the defense is just every single play, getting all hats to the ball, focusing on our angles that we're taking, not just running to run, So Coach Minner and the defensive staff's done a great job with that this year of just trying to get everybody to the ball. And I think it's just going to help us in the long run.
And Jaylen, so I was told that you reached out to Aiden and you were talking to him about what it was like to play Pat Mahomes. Did he share anything interesting with you?
He was just telling me because he had texted me 2 weeks ago after the UNLV game or whatever. And then we was chopping it up. And then I was like, dang, bro, you couldn't get Mahomes on the ground. He's like, bro, that's the hardest quarterback. Pocket awareness was crazy. So he's just talking about how like elusive he is in the pocket, like how he's so hard to get to.
What about the tackle, right? Did he talk? Because wasn't that the whole thing on Thursday night where they had the tackle that was – did he talk about that at all?
No, I didn't even talk to him about that, but I saw it. That was crazy.
Yeah, man, that's the funny thing is like you even watch like Tom Brady at the next level. Like it's not like Tom Brady is Michael Vick, but those dudes' pocket presence and pocket awareness and like balance and core strength. Like if you can get a dude down with just a hand in college, but like you have to bring everything at the next level, right?
Right.
So when you think about that and you think about the front seven and the need to get pressure and be disruptive, like do you guys set goals on a given week, either as individuals or as a unit in terms of, I guess a good word is disruptive. Like, hey, we need to generate sacks, TFLs, batted balls at the line of scrimmage. Is there a set amount of goals for the defensive line and that defensive unit on any given week?
I feel like we don't really like go into stats that much, really. We just know we got to cause havoc in the run and pass game each and every play. Doesn't matter if it's drop back, downhill run. We know we got to cause havoc. It's been a big emphasis on the finishing on the quarterback's arm. Just being disruptive. Coach Man has challenged us doing that. So we just hone that each and every day, and then we got to make that show on Saturdays.
Are you guys? I'm getting a sense that you guys are pretty good friends. Are you guys roommates?
Nah.
But you're boys, though.
Yeah.
When did it start? Was it when Braiden sent that beautiful text to you guys when you were being recruited?
I don't know.
I don't know.
We've always been, just the way Coach Harbaugh sets the freshmen up with like being in the dorms, and you're in the dorms for 2 years. So I think just us being around each other for so long, we just started like hanging out, our group of friends, just things like that. And be playing the same position, like being in the same room. We see each other every day, almost to where I annoy him too much. But we definitely cool. Yeah.
What's the dorm life like? I think this is a good thing for fans to hear about. What's a dorm life like? Like, what do you guys do? First off, can you fit in the dorm beds? Like, what do you get? What's the room setup like? You got an Xbox, PlayStation? What's that like?
Yeah, the dorm setup. I didn't really enjoy it too much. Sharing bathrooms for everyone. The bed was small. I'm talking like barely. Me and my roommate, we kind of had a big room, but I don't know. The dorm experience wasn't. I'm chill though, so I was just always in my room, just chilling. So I don't know, B, what you think about the dorm experience?
So when I early enrolled, I lived with Zach Zinner. So him and I were roommates, and then our neighbors were Blake, and then like Macari, and so like we kind of had this little corner of East Quad, and that we always talk about it, like that was one of like the best 3 months of our lives. Like we didn't have football, fresh out of high school. It was just the boys hanging out. And so it was pretty fun. The beds, like Jay said, I didn't care for that. The bathrooms, same deal. Those are probably the only two things, but that's the real college experience. You get to walk next door and go hang out with some of your best friends. That was one of the big things, because then once you get out of the dorms, people move all over the place. People move, out of the city to try and pay less for rent. So having those 2 years is just awesome. That's how you get closer to your class. That's how the team gets closer. So I think it's very beneficial.
So you said you didn't have football. Didn't you have winter lifts though? Like, weren't you lifting with the upperclassmen and everything like that?
Yeah, we definitely were. I was injured when I first got here, so like I didn't really get to lift and be around as much. I was in the treatment room a lot. But we definitely had a good time when we first got here. So.
What was that first lift like? I know you said you were injured, but were you able to do an upper day or anything? I remember my first lift because I graduated high school early. Dude, I remember like they were going around, we were doing pull-ups, and I could barely even do pull-ups. And like our strength coach walked up to me and he was like, "Bud, I don't know what we're gonna do with you, man." Like just straight walked away. And I was like, "Damn, dude." I was like, "I don't know if I'm built for this." Do you remember what the first lift was like?
Yeah, I remember mine like it was yesterday. I remember we walked in, and so the early enrollees could come for bull practice. So I think 4 or 5 of us came for bull practice. and all of them got to go out there and practice, and I was injured, so I had to go in, and I did all my freshman baseline testing that day. I remember walking in there, and I was like, oh, I'm pretty big in high school. I can put up some weight. And I get in that weight room, and I got Coach Herb just staring at me. I got Coach Ravy sitting there, and he was just marking everything off. And the first thing they had me do was pull downs. And like, was it like 115 for single arm or something like that?
Yeah.
It's like 115 single arm pull down. You're like, all right, get as many as you can do. And I'm thinking like, okay, 115, that can't be that bad. I get up there, and it like pulled, and it like lifted me off my seat. And I was like, yes. And I like couldn't even get it down. And they were like, all right, yeah, we'll go on to the next thing. And then that's when I knew like, okay, I'm gonna have to work. I'm gonna have to work hard. But that's my first impression in the weight room.
I can remember our first run. It was like a little warm up too. We was doing shuttles. I think it was 50-yard shuttles, and we did like 8 of them. Fifth one, I had to go out the back door, throw up, came back and ran some more. I was like, oh yeah, it's real.
Do you remember the adrenaline? Because like I remember like wanting to prove myself so much. Like when I first got in there, like you talk about the single arm pull downs, and I remember getting on the bench for 225, and I did the most I ever did in my life, but I knew it wasn't good enough. But I wanted to prove myself. Do you just remember that like feeling of like, man, I'm here, it's real? But then also the realization like, oh wait, this is real. Like I'm not meeting the standard clearly yet.
Right. Yeah. Coming to high school after senior year, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to get up there. I can't wait to show them this, that, and the third. Then you get there, it's like, hold on, chill out now, chill out. It's a little different up here. So yeah, definitely that realization. Like, yeah, but it's not high school.
Yeah, I think our year when we came in, like we had some freaks in our room too.
Yeah.
So when they split you up in position group, and you got Hutch and Quiddy and all those guys sitting there putting up all these crazy weights, and you're like,
a while to go.
Man, I hope I get there one day.
Yeah.
And they make it look easy too. Like that's the thing about dudes like that. Like, I mean, that's first round talent. Like that's the thing is like, you look at those dudes and you see like, wait a second, they don't, the hard stuff looks easy. The easy stuff, they just do it in their sleep, Right. What about some of the offensive guys like you guys were matched up against, right? Like, was it Andrew Stuber? I mean, even Schoonmaker. I'm trying to think of who the guys that you were matched up against. Sean McKeon maybe was there, Zach Gentry, like some of the tight ends. What was it like being matched up against? I always like to ask defensive players about the offensive players and vice versa. Do you remember some battles with those guys?
Yeah, I remember some battles freshman year, going up against Ben Mason. We used to get to it. Ben hard nose, hard hat. He always tried to come with it. I wasn't scared though. Me and Ben used to go at it. So yeah, that was a fun battle for sure.
You got any is there one story that stands out? I mean, we know Ben Mason. I heard the story when he literally they had to sit him out of practice because he ripped the bottom layer of skin off his feet when he was at Ravens camp. You remember that?
I heard about that. I can just remember one. One specific instance. The offense was doing red zone. This is my freshman year. I think it's my first week on scout team or second team. And Ben came on a slice block. And I guess he didn't. I don't know if he thought I wasn't going to come hard or something. I gave him a nice little pop. And then Coach Harbaugh said, come here. He's like, yeah, you're going inside. So he sent me inside with the defense. And he took me off scout team.
Wait. Okay, so you were on scout team?
Yeah. It's like this is like during the year. I think it's like the second week of scout team or something like that. And I'm reading the card, like Coach Newsom told me what to do. And it's like, hammer technique. So stay outside. So Ben comes on the slice block, I'm riled up, ready to boom, like nice little collision. And then I'm just kind of jogging back and ready to look at the card again. And then Coach Harbaugh, he said, come here real quick, Jay. Came to him. He's like, get in there. We'll find something for you to do. So I jogged in there. I was like, Coach Brown, Coach Harbaugh sent me in here. It was funny.
Wow. So okay, let me correct me if I'm wrong here. So you're playing scout team. This is week 2. It's early. Yeah. And what happens on scout team is they hold these cards up as a defense and they say like, hey, here's what the offense is going to run. Here's what you do. So you're on the edge, and the card has Ben Mason coming to split block. So you know it's coming. You also know Ben Mason's coming.
Right.
Like,
I know he's coming. You feel me?
Like,
so
all right, I gotta bring some stuff here.
Exactly. Yeah. If you know Ben, you know he's coming with it. So you really gotta, get in that mode.
And you popped him.
Yeah,
Harbaugh loves fullbacks, dude. Like, I remember when he first got there, we had like an offensive meeting, and the whole meeting was dedicated to Nebraska's fullback because he just loved this dude, Andy Janovich. I played with him in Denver. Okay. He loves fullback. So I know he loved Ben Mason.
Yeah.
And you stood him up.
Yeah, Ben, if you know Ben, you like be slobbering, you be doing all this extra stuff. So I had him, like spitting this stuff. And then coach was like, yeah, come here real quick, Jay. And he sent me inside.
Okay, so then do you remember the next time you and Ben got matched up against each other?
Not really. I can't remember I can't remember the next time. I can remember that specific instance. It was early on in my freshman year. It had to be like week 2, week 3 scout, or week 2 scout team. And that play happened.
Braid, do you got a story? You got anything similar like that?
Nah, I mean, I wish I did, but I mean, going against Stuber, I hated going against Stuber. That's only him and Ryan Hayes were the two that I would hate going against. I mean, Stuber was always on me when I first got here because he had his ACL when I had my knee. So I remember I just early enrolled and he was just on me the whole time I was there. So I knew first time when we get out there, he was gonna come with something because I don't know if I made him mad one day because I was in there kind of complaining or what it was, but he started getting on me and I was like, okay. Man, first day I think I was on scout team 2, and I think they had me on like a 3-tech, and I was like 240 maybe, long, skinny. I was like, yeah, I was like, all right, you're gonna take this double team out here. I don't know who our guard was.
Was it Chuck or
might have been Chuck?
Might have been,
but I know it was like over 700 pounds of like combined offensive line. And I just remember I just sat in there and I just tried, and I just like by the time I looked up, I was like 10 yards down the field. I was like, yeah, it's gonna be a long year. But no, that's all I got.
But I want you to expand on that a little bit because I really make this case often about the scout team and how valuable they are, and like. That is just like a thankless job, dude. Like you are a punching bag, basically. And if you win, you honestly lose because they're going to go harder the next like 10 plays, right?
That's facts.
Right?
That's
you
facts.
win, you lose. So, like, how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, I thought I had to find a happy medium when I was a freshman. I was like, okay, I don't want to piss them off, but I still want to keep getting better. But then I remember Mozzie pulled me aside one day when I was a freshman. He's like, doesn't matter. You just got to go as hard as you can, even if it pisses them off. You just keep going. I was like, all right. So I started becoming the guy that people didn't like on scout team. Kind of like Jay of like.
Yeah, I used to go there and just start hitting people.
Yeah, you just got
smack. That's where Phil gets his raise, bro. You need to get that treatment the next day, right?
Yeah.
Keep everybody healthy, man. Well, then what's it like now, man? So to go from that to now be a veteran, I remember for me my senior year how much everything slowed down. Like your routine was so familiar. You're familiar with Phil, everybody, like everything just slows down. When was that moment for you guys when things just clicked and you just realized, oh, wait a second, I'm part of this thing. I'm in this.
I mean, for me, I think getting towards the end of last year is when it really started slowing down for me. I felt like I was out there and, I was trying to make plays and I was trying to do too much or, not focusing exactly what I have and trying to just like look at the bigger picture of where the run's going and trying to get there. And then I think towards the end of last year, I was like, okay, I'm starting to figure it out. You just do your job. Plays are going to come to you. Coach Minter talks about it all the time with us is, the production's going to come as long as you do the play right. So now being like a veteran guy of like Jay and I, but being the 2 seniors in the room, it's just keep that mindset with the younger guys of like just keep going. Like it's going to happen for you guys. Like, trust the process. Everybody's process is different. So that's just one big thing that I focus on.
I say it started maybe the Big Ten Championship 2021. That's when it probably started to click a little bit. And then, obviously going into last year, started getting a little bit of confidence.
Braiden, we had a couple fan questions. So as we kind of wind this down, there's been a popular topic about the tattoos.
Yeah.
Talk to him, bro.
Where did it start? What was the first tattoo, and do you have a favorite? Like, what's the story behind the tattoos?
Yeah. So really when I was younger, so my parents both have tattoos. All their friends that I grew up, like they all had tattoos. So I was just around it like growing up. And as a kid, you could put those fake tattoos on and like, hold the washcloth over them. And so I'd always do that as a kid. And I want to say I was like maybe 10, 11 years old. And I'm like, when I turn 16, like, would you guys sign off for me to get a tattoo? And my mom and dad are like, as long as it's something that you have set and that you won't change for like a year. So I was like, okay. So like when you figure out something, you got to like be set on it for a year. I'm like, okay. So my grandpa ended up passing away when I was in 5th grade. And he was like, he was just like my everything to me. So like we went hunting together. We go to the gym together. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to get something to honor him. So that was my first one. I actually got it on this shoulder here. It's just like mountain range, and it's like got like animals in it, and it's got his initials. So that was just to honor him. And then after that, I was just hooked. I just couldn't stop. I remember I think I was a sophomore in high school. Yeah, I was a sophomore in high school. And my basketball coach just kept asking me like, when are you going to be done? I'm like, I'm just starting. Like, what are you talking about? So I think when I left high school, I had like pretty much a whole sleeve and my chest done. And then I just felt like it didn't look right. So then I had to do the other arm. Then I felt like it didn't look right again. So then I do my back, then I do my ribs, and I got my stomach and my leg. So like I just kept going. And honestly, the most meaningful one to me is I did this back piece over May. I had 2 artists go at it at the same time. It took about like 14 hours, 2 days. It was like 2 days. And it's just like everything from like when I grew up. It's got like my childhood home, my hockey rink that I grew up playing in, my football arena, football field, just things like that. So, I just got a lot of ink, and, a lot of them mean a lot to me.
Did you go under for that? I know that's been a thing. Like a lot of dudes in the league, like they get put to sleep.
Yeah, no, I don't got money like that. So no, I wish. I just sit
Respect,
there and
bro.
thug it out.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you too, because I was wondering, like, did you continue the tattoos when people started comparing you to Hutch, and you were like, all right, I'm just gonna get inked the hell out because then no one can confuse me with Hutch.
No, people still do. That's what Hutch and I would talk about. I'm like, and when we were both here together, I had long hair and he had short hair, and I had tattoos.
Yeah.
He had no tattoos. I'm like, bro, we don't look alike. And Jake kept saying, yes, you do, bro. Yes, you do. I'm like, no, we don't, bro. But no,
Yeah, Jay, I can't even say what I want to say right now, bro.
What do you want to say?
I know you have the inside scoop on this one, Jay. So you interned this summer. I know Coach Harbaugh is big on internships. So you interned for Valiant, right? Do you got any good stories? What was the experience like working for Valiant? What did you take away from it?
It was a great experience. It wasn't crazy, but I remember one time I came in here and thought I was going to do some work or whatnot. I come in and I see some of the other interns or helpers. They were in the back room cleaning up the floor, and I'm like, we'll be doing today. They're like, they're gonna help us clean. So I'm like, okay. So I'm on my knees. I'm talking cleaning, scrubbing, getting this paint off the ground. I'm cleaning up the whole back room. Apparently, Jared's couch is in there. It's been there for like a whole year. I'm in there moving couches and stuff. I'm like, bro, I bring my computer. I didn't even use it that day. It's funny. I'm scraping paint up all day. I'm smelling it. I'm like, oh my goodness. No.
So when they say coming from humble beginnings, like you really came from humble beginnings, bro. Like you were cleaning up.
No, I was like, I'm gonna do it because it was a couple ladies doing it. I was like, nah, I'm gonna go on the ground. I'm gonna clean it all up. I was helping to move moving all the couches and stuff. Jared had his whole house in there, so I'm like, all right, I don't know what he's got going on, but I'm gonna help move it out the way.
Yeah, man, you're a true Michigan man. Did you? So who was the? So you guys weren't roommates, but were both you guys pretty clean when it went back to the dorm life? Like, I know it's tight quarters.
Yeah, I was pretty clean. Myself, in drawers, trash took away and stuff. My roommate. That's my boy. But no,
I got you. Yeah, that's right. Well, listen, man. I know it's a busy season, man. I appreciate you guys. I know the fans really appreciate this stuff, and this is the coolest part about the NIL is you guys taking the time and connecting with them, man. We get great feedback on this, so it's greatly appreciated. The whole fan base is behind you guys. You guys are doing a great job here, and I know everybody's cheering you on and excited to see you take the field again this Saturday. I'll ask you this one more question because I should have asked you this. I thought I did, but I didn't. What was it like with the new scoreboards, night game, lights? Like, what was you guys' takeaway? How was that with the light show?
I mean, finally, that's how we all felt. We were all like, man, finally we have like something that gets us going. It's getting a little bit newer now. It's not this. I mean, it's so historic that you don't want to touch it. But I mean, the way that everything's moving now with NIL and all these recruits getting paid and wanting to go to a cool place. It's like you got to add a little something. So with the history there, and then now you have the light show, and you score a touchdown, you see the lights go off. It's awesome, and the scoreboards, they're massive. So I mean, we can sit there and you can see it from every angle. So you don't have to we sit next to each other. You don't got to peek around each other anymore.
No, yeah, that night game was crazy. It gave me flashback to Nebraska. I was like, oh yeah, it was pretty cool, yeah, for sure. Definitely way different.
With the scoreboards, one, if you make a play, you're about to shine. But if you mess up if you mess up and you have a penalty, you're exposed in front of everybody too.
110.
Yeah. All right, fellas. Listen, man, thank you so much. Good luck this weekend. We're looking forward to watching you. And guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been The Lab. This is Braiden McGregor and Jaylen Harrell. We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.